to break the status quo. Some friends of mine will be angry. They may not be happy with it, but this is what I feel, because I am a person who would say upfront what Kashmiris feel about it. So I suggest the following. Being a person who has been connected with the economy of the Indian administered Kashmir, I had educated from the day I became President Kashmir Chamber of Commerce 2006 that the Indian government declared our side of Kashmir as a free economic zone. It was because I lived for 13 years in Singapore. And when I went back in 2003 from Singapore, I saw the country had developed because it was a free economic zone. And free economic zone fits in because we are in a region where a free economic zone can do wonders for a place like Kashmir, which I have written down in detail. Then, which converted into a demand for declaration of our whole of Jammu and Kashmir as a free economic zone when I became the president of the joint chamber, Mr. Sheikh Walid Rasool mentioned about, the JKJCCI, and which Jammu chamber was also there. Jammu chamber was also there. AJK chamber was also there. Kashmir chamber was also there. There was a resolution passed that the whole area be declared as free economic zone. Now, with the LOC trade finished, everything finished, but still, we have this CPEC. When the CPEC came, I had suggested that, and I take this opportunity of this platform to tell the government of Pakistan to declare their side of Kashmir as a free economic zone completely, and not part by part, which they are doing. They have done some special economic zones, but the whole of Azad Jammu and Kashmir as a free economic zone because of CPEC. Because this is one thing which will completely change the whole geography and the whole thing about Kashmir. And after they do that, side by side, the Pakistan through its friends and countries like Saudi Arabia, UAE, and USA, who are not very open about our right of self-determination, but which have got good relations with India, that they declare our side also on the same pattern as a free economic zone. This model of mine is now further relevant because of the Chinese government to safeguard the CPEC. As everybody believes that the recent incursions in Ladakh point to the region, as well as the world cannot afford. The point is, the world cannot afford a risk of nuclear war, not only between India and Pakistan, but now between China and India also. Because if India reacts the way they are trying to build up their public, then there is going to be another risk of another nuclear war between China and India. This will, for the model I am suggesting, it will be a win-win situation for everybody, and particularly to the 65.46% of human population, which is living in China, 31.35%, India 29.72%, and Pakistan 4.39%. So that means 65% of the human population is in these three countries. And they will be safe and they will be peaceful if this model is created. I have written papers on it on my blog, The Ultimate Oasis, as long back as 2015. And once CPEC became operative, wrote a document on the same impact of explaining the above concept. Now, for varied reasons, if the government of Pakistan does not take these steps, they do not agree to these steps, then the second alternative is,
you are talking about Indian occupied Kashmir and Azad Kashmir, so that the audience can understand, inshallah, what exactly is the logistics of that, inshallah.
Dr. Shah Saab, your question for Prof. Yusuf.
Faisal, thank you for raising the question. That free economic zone, because when I was living in Singapore for 13 years, I saw how Singapore has developed. They got their independence in 1965, and they developed, and they are now a very well-off country. And they developed I went there in 1991, and it was already almost a developed country, and it was based on free trade, and because they took advantage of where they were situated geographically. So geographically they were in the center of a place where they had on one side Malaysia, another side Indonesia, another side Brunei, then Philippines and all. So they became an entry port. But the difference was that there was a seaport. While as in our case, in the case of Kashmir, if we are seen geographically, and we used to be a part of the, the caravans previously. So we are on all sides having, for example, we have borders. When you combine both the Kashmirs, we have on our borders on one side China, on the other side Central Asia, other side. When I was president of the chamber, I went to Iran and did an MOU with Isfahan Chamber of Commerce. And because I was visualizing that when the LOC trade will start in 2008, after 2008, that we can do trade with all these areas. And if we are declared both Jammu and Kashmir is declared a free economic zone, that means all the laws of India and Pakistan will go back, or whatever it is. And we will be a free country on practical terms. In a practical terms, we will be a free country. Yes, there has to be negotiation on the security. There is negotiation, but with China being there now, actually being there because of CPEC, because if you in a practical terms, we will be a free country. Yes, there has to be negotiation on the security. There is negotiation, but with China being there now, actually being there because of CPEC, because if you please read my paper, when I wrote a paper on the effect of CPEC on Kashmir, and there this model I clearly described and discussed that this is what it is going to happen, because it will be advantageous for India also to go to Central Asia through Kashmir, and it will be advantageous for China also to do some trade with India. With Central Asia, we are going to be the pivot of trade, and when we are the free economic zone, that means everything. Just like we will be Switzerland of the East. We are talking about Switzerland. In the world war, it was a country which was very peaceful because it was doing trade with everybody. The same thing would be happening to Kashmir in this region, and this fight with China is on the doorstep of India. Pakistan has problems with India. India has problems with Pakistan. Will go off. We will look towards the economic betterment of the whole region, and we will be this I have written in my paper. This will be the new union of South Asia. We will be the new union of South Asia, without leaving aside their egos of Pakistan, India, and for that matter China also. So through the economy, I feel we have a model of settlement of Kashmir. We as a Kashmiri, I as a Kashmiri, are pining for a settlement where my people will also develop in the way other people are developing. There is governance in the same way as it is in every other place. So this is my meaning of the free economic zone.
Dr. Walidru's status quo is extremely important. For governments, it will always be difficult to change their positions. And we know that as far as India is concerned, it has not shown any flexibility until now. So while the idea is good and to be pursued at intellectual level and to do
The question for you is that this doctrine is utopian, not practical. But how you want to elaborate it, sir? The question asked by him.
Sorry, Professor. First,
I want to answer this very, very clearly and categorically. That all these 73 years we have been either talking bilaterally or trying to do internationally. And what have we got out of all this? We have to have an alternative model. My point is the alternative model that there will be a win-win situation for all the three. Today now China is now there because you can't expect China to go out of it and see because of CPEC. For them, CPEC is a very, very, जैसे हम Pakistan बोल रहा था, jugular vein is Kashmir. Now CPEC is jugular vein of China. That will be very, very clear and categorical about it. Because I know from this area,
where I am.
Flagship project incorporated
Not
in
only
the
flagship,
constitution
sir,
of China.
not only flagship, it is an alternative route for their whole trade. And they will not compromise on anything which will damage that. And I will tell you very categorical. When I was in the chamber, and you know, we have a system by which any delegation which used to come from Delhi, particularly of the ambassador level and other things, once we had a US delegation coming to Kashmir, they would every time come and ask from the chamber that what is the situation now and all that. They will, you know, after every 3 months, 6 months come there. And when CPC had also already come, and I could put this point to the commercial attaché of the American government, and I was surprised. He got, normally a person of that type do not react. He reacted so vehemently against it. He said, we will never allow the CPEC to become successful. So, my dear gentlemen, the problem is, I know this happened in 1962. We became a part of the Cold War. We don't want, Kashmir doesn't want itself to become again a part of the Cold War between China, America, and all that. This is a situation where India has to agree to a certain extent for the region's betterment, that they become a part of CPEC and do not fall in the American thing. For example, for that matter, I'm not saying that America is thinking badly about us, but this is hegemony of the whole world. That is what it is. So, for our regional, that is why if the conference was based on region and what, this is the model on which China will be also interested to talk to India. And the world in community may put pressure on India that this is the simple way by which there is a win-win situation for everybody. We will avoid 2 nuclear wars. 2, gentlemen, 2. And I fear it is going towards that if India becomes sort of belligerent with the support of America. But the whole population, I told you, 65% of the population will be in risk. This is my contention, and if it may be too late afterwards, because till today China is in a stage that they can talk about all this, and India may be ready to do. And if we make a first move, the Pakistan government or whoever the friendly countries like Turkey, like Middle East, they can they can put this together. It is an utopian here, but sometimes in such situations you have to develop some models by which everything can become all right. We want peace. We want peace, and we feel that this is how it will happen. With no egos hurt on any side.
Sir Khalid Rahman, about the document of the accession, what gentleman asked to his